In this video, I want to go over some of the changes that's coming to Hunter in Phase 5 of Season of Discovery. So let's just start with Wowhead's article. Take a look. Right, class changes and spell changes. So first off, cat-like reflexes has just removed the kill command because that's no longer in the game. So it was still saying the kill command text in the description of the ability, so that's just been removed, but nothing's really changed with the cat-like reflexes. Then we have clever strikes. It says under here that it's a new ability, but I think it's actually just the 2 set of tier 2, the 2 set melee bonus, which will cause your next melee strike that's not a raptor strike to increase its damage by 20%. So I think this is that's this one. So it's not really a ability. And then we have Cobra Slayer, which hasn't changed, but now it's applied to your gloves instead of your chest. So in the live version, it's on the chest right now, and on the PTR, that's been replaced with Beast Mastery Rune, and then the Beast Mastery Rune was a glove before, so they have just swapped places with Cobra Slayer. And then I don't think anything's happened to Heart of the Lion. Hidden Run, the rune Hidden Run has its movement speed increased to 30%, up from 50%, and now for 15 seconds instead of 8 seconds. And I don't have that rune actually, so I'm not sure if that change is already in the game, and they're just reiterating some of the old changes, or if it's a new change. So, but here it is. And then improved volley, damage increased by 100%, and still has a little bit of scaling, 3% of your ranged attack power as an additional damage each time it takes. And then lock and load, this is the biggest one for Hunter, ranged Hunter. Lock and load now has a cooldown. It can only be triggered once every 8 seconds, which I actually like this change, because I didn't like the way Hunter worked before in PvE when it comes to forming your rotation, having to use your freezing trap and your explosive trap to get more lock and load procs. Now it's just, now you would only use your explosive trap to proc lock and load. You get your extra shot off, but freezing trap, it now it does apply because I waited a long time. But if I fire my explosive trap now, you'll see I don't get the lock and load proc. It has to pass 8 seconds has to pass before it can work. So that just makes it so that you will only use it on your explosive trap now if you have resourcefulness. Then it only makes sense to use it with your explosive trap. And this way you can actually also run a different rune than trap launcher, because let's say I want to weave with the Fervent Strike, you're not losing procs from lock and load, because it's still just one trap that you're going to benefit from. So long as you're still running resourcefulness. If you're not running resourcefulness, then you'd have to pick trap launcher, because then more time will pass before the cooldown of your explosive trap is ready again. So then it would make sense to use freezing trap, and once the cooldown is ready for explosive trap, then you use explosive trap, or when the internal cooldown of the lock and load is ready, then you use explosive trap, and then you switch between those two. But yeah, so long as you have resourcefulness, then there's no need. You would just be using explosive trap all the time, because the cooldown will be finished, and that's the only one in PvE that does damage. So yeah, then you'd go in, melee weave, put your explosive trap down, get your 2 shots, wait until your trap is ready, so on and so forth. And this might be higher damage since the nerf to lock and load. So I think this opens up more opportunities. And now you don't have to constantly weave in both your freezing trap and your explosive trap into your ranged rotation. And that, I just think that it just felt bad to have to be forced to actually use both of your traps into your ranged rotation. But let's move on. Lone Wolf has seen a nerf as well, so down from 35% increased damage down to 30%. Melee Specialist has seen a buff. So before it was only these two abilities, Mongoose Strike, Mongoose Bite, and Raptor Strike had a chance to reset the cooldown on Raptor Strike only. Now it's also the cooldown of Mongoose Bite and Raptor Strike that's being reset. Yeah, this change was already in. This is already live. The 15% increased damage to Raptor Strike for 30 seconds. So that was already applied. And also the nerf for TNT was already applied. And then there's something that I'm not seeing it here. Maybe it's at the top. No, that's the only thing they're putting here. But Hunter has got something called Aspect of the Falcon now. So that's going to replace your Aspect of the Hawk. So basically what this does is that the Hunter takes on the Aspect of the Falcon, increasing melee and ranged attack power by the same amount as the highest rank of Aspect of the Hawk. While Aspect of the Falcon is active, the improved Aspect of the Hawk talent, this one, can now proc from and benefit from melee attacks. Only one aspect can active at any one time, blah, blah, blah. So for a melee hunter, this actually makes sense to pick this one up, and not only for a ranged hunter. So it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen with Hunter. I see a lot of changes for Beast Mastery as well in terms of gear. The CG gear has some quite nice Beastmaster bonuses. So once you get the 3-piece of the CG Beastmaster set, you get increases the attack power of your Beast Pet. I don't know why it says Beast Pet. Gains from your attributes by 20%. So your pet gains 20% more attack power from your attributes. And if you get the 5 set, you have another 20% more focus regeneration. So with these two items, maybe going for instead of going combine that with the nerf to Lone Wolf, you can imagine that maybe going with another chest rune, either Marksman or Beast Mastery. I would say probably likely. I don't think this will ever be viable as it is. I think Blizzard should change it completely. It's also boring as fuck. And then maybe for single target fights, going focus fire instead of TNT might be the play, because of your pet getting so much more attack power, focus regeneration, and maybe even Beast Mastery as especially the first few talents in Beast Mastery. You get the Unleashed Fury and Ferocity. That's big for pet damage. You could say that Frenzy is also quite good, and these two they stack, so your pet can have focus fire, which is another 30% attack speed on top of Frenzy, which is again another 30% attack speed. But then you'll be giving up, you'll of course be giving up on your lightning reflexes. But you could go skip these two, skip all of this, and then get improved aspect of the Hawk combined with some Unleashed Fury and Ferocity. So maybe that's going to be the play. Who knows? Some testing must be done, which can't really be done right now on the PTR here, because your pet is angry. And no matter how much you feed your pet right now, pet's still gonna be angry. You can't really test any of this on the PTR as it is right now. But I think that's mostly, I think I covered all the changes for Hunter. Of course, there's some new sets. You can go check them out on Wowhead. This is for tier 2, your tier 2 4-piece set. Your damaging shot abilities deal 10% increased damage if the previous damage shot was used was different than the current. So basically what this means is if you run lock and load, all you want to do now is swap between either Chimera shot and aim shot or Chimera shot and multi-shot. So you swap between these two back and forth. You don't fire the same shot twice in a row like you usually would. You would usually send off your I don't have it now. You would usually use your explosive shot, and then you'd fire twice your Chimera shot, and then you'd use your freezing trap, and then twice aim shot. But now what you do Chimera shot, then you do aim shot, then you go back to Chimera shot, maybe weave in multi-shot, wait for the trap to come up, aim shot, Chimera shot, aimed shot, multi-shot, and so on and so forth. Could also skip resourcefulness, and then you'd still do the old way with traps. You still have to weave in your traps the old way. There are many things with Hunter I still feel like is so weird. Why cat-like reflexes? It's like, why this rapid killing? Nobody's gonna pick this over lock and load for sure. Cobra strikes as well. It's really a weird talent or a weird rune, because steady shot, nobody picks this. Maybe that would change, but I doubt it. The cooldowns of your abilities are so short, so I don't think that will ever make any sense to weave in between. Serpent spread, there's coming some scaling with what's it called? Serpent sting. So maybe this will see some use, but I actually doubt it, because this is just so much better. Even though I don't like sniper training, I hate sniper training. I don't like the idea that I have to stand still for so and so many seconds before I can get these stacks and get the crit. I like the idea of Hunter being mobile. And also, if you start using your aim shot, like say you are at 5 or 4 stacks, and you start using aim shot, then it's not like the cast time is reduced to make up for not having 5 stacks. You're still gonna have to wait and cast this for how long? 3 seconds or something. Yeah, 3 seconds cast time, unless you use rapid fire, make it faster, but it's not getting any faster just because you stand still. You have to wait for the 5 stacks for that to happen. So it's just Hunter just feels so gimmicky, feels so weird with the rotation. You wouldn't really use this in PvP that much. You'd probably use kill shot instead. I think most of this is fine. Yeah, now they have all your abilities. Cobra Slayer, Chimera Shot, Explosive Shot, and Carve. Those damaging abilities, active abilities, are now on your gloves. Which also means that if you want to go melee Hunter now, you can't have Cobra Slayer and Carve at the same time. So if you go as a melee Hunter, you don't really have that many options for AoE damage anymore. So I don't know why they chose to do this. I find it kind of weird, but what the hell do I know? Yeah, many things that I feel like is still wrong with Hunter. Their runes are just so bad. I feel like I don't think any of the developers are playing Hunter. I would love to see sniper training remade into something like, I still want to hardcast my aim shot. That feels the most Hunter-esque. Maybe increase the range instead of like doing something where you have to stand still. It feels bad, and making it instant also, in my opinion, feels really bad. I like the idea of you loading up an aim shot and then you fire a really hard hitting shot. So I think they should do something with this. Remove it, turn it into something else, something that does I don't know, have increased damage and increased crit chance, maybe a 20% or 30% crit chance on your aim shot, so it actually makes sense to spend the time casting it, waiting the 3 seconds to get it off. Yeah, Serpent spread, still just, it's incredible this is still in the game. It's so bad. I really don't understand why this is still in here. But yeah, I talked about some scaling. I think I read somewhere that your tier 2 6 set ranged bonus, so the ranged Hunter bonus, your Serpent sting damage is increased by 25% of your attack power over its normal duration. So we're getting some scaling for Serpent sting. Finally, I've been saying this before. I have a video going back before Season of Discovery even launched, where I talk about this rune, Serpent Spread, was already leaked back then. And then at that time, it was only 6 seconds that it lasted. It would spread your Serpent Sting to 3 targets, lasting 6 seconds instead of 12. So that was even worse. And there was still no scaling. We've had this rune for very long, so it's so weird to me that this hasn't been changed. Or this rune should just say also adds 25% scaling of your attack power to your Serpent Sting. That's what this should say. That would make a lot more sense, because then maybe it would actually be useful. But as this rune is right now, it doesn't make any sense. Why put this on a tier set bonus? Why not just put it into the rune? Make this rune viable. It's not viable as it is. Sniper training feels bad. Fervent strike is great, but since you can change talents now, why don't you do something with this for ranged as well? Why not reduce this to 30 seconds and make it able to be cast in combat? Because right now you can only cast it out of combat, and that doesn't make any sense. So you'd never choose this over Scattershot, even though Scattershot has shared diminishing returns with your freezing trap. It's still much better. Maybe add a rune with disengage as well. Hunter badly needs mobility. As soon as somebody is on top of you, it would be great to be able to use disengage. So this is just so weird because, okay, I gain movement speed, but let's say a mage, he frost novas me. I'm not gonna benefit in any way from this extra movement speed. Or if I get hamstrung by a warrior or get slowed by any class, I don't have any way of getting out of CC. Compare that to shamans who have decoy totem that is actually just freedom. So they can cast freedom on themselves. But a hunter, as soon as somebody is on top of a ranged hunter, the only option he has is to go into melee. And you can still just dead zone a hunter. If you know a hunter, you can still just stand as a mage in his dead zone or CC him in some way. You can still just stand in his dead zone. And he can't either hit you in melee or hit you with a ranged. Only with kill shot. That's the only one he can use. I like kill shot. That is sorely needed, something to be able to cast and do in the dead zone. But what if you change this into either disengage? So you had the disengage from Wrath of the Lich King that makes you jump backwards, and maybe break CC effects, give them some PvP utility. And this one, instead of reduced traps, 6 seconds cooldown on traps is it's crazy. And it's just so they had to go around this because it was getting too overpowered in PvP. So now you can't use trap launcher on your frost trap. So here are the rules, except all of these exceptions to the rules. It's so dumb. And then they also nerfed entrapment because they saw, okay, one hunter, he can probably keep, I don't know, 5 frost traps going. So imagine 3 hunters in a battleground keeping 15 frost traps running constantly. That's so stupid. And I can't fathom why they don't see this before. Like, I knew this way before it even happened. When I saw that they reduced the cooldown, even before that, you couldn't put him, you couldn't place a trap when you were in combat. So that they removed that baseline. So now you can always place traps in combat. I like that, but then they should increase the cooldown on traps to 30 seconds instead of 15 seconds. Because if you can play, that's what they did in Burning Crusade. If you can place a trap in combat, then you have to have increased cooldown. But they did the opposite, and now they forced them to be a part of your rotation, and it just feels so bad. But that's enough ranting. I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. Your aim shot deals 20% more damage to targets affected by one of your trap effects. Yeah, so they still really want you to weave your traps into your ranged rotation. Maybe some people like this, so I'm fine with them keeping that part of the game, keeping that in the game, but give the rest of us some options so we don't, as a ranged hunter, feel forced to weave in our traps into the ranged rotation. Because in my opinion, it doesn't feel very hunter-like. It feels weird, it feels clunky, it feels bad. Yeah, they did something to buff melee hunter as well, with the different changes to talents and so on. So maybe melee hunter is gonna pop off now with aspect of the Falcon, which also increases melee attack power, right? Let's check. Yeah, so nothing happened with the ranged attack power, but the melee attack power got higher, together with the 200 attack power from your Heart of the Lion. So we're seeing buffs to melee hunter, we are seeing nerfs to ranged petless hunter, but also just ranged hunter in total because of the nerf to lock and load. So I think maybe melee hunter is gonna be the play now, at least, or maybe just ranged hunter's been brought down. Ranged hunter is probably the one that's gonna scale the best anyway. So the better gear you get, the more benefit you're gonna get from all the extra agility. So yeah, we'll have to see. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.